What up? What up? What's good? You already know what it is, man. Welcome to Leadership Over Libations, the place where creators, visionaries, entrepreneurs, and those who aspire belong. I'm your host, your main man, Mr. T Brown. And today, man, we got something real dope for y'all again, as you already know. I'm sitting, man, with a young entrepreneur. Just met this dude literally about a week ago. Okay. So I want to let him just share his story, talk about who he is, what he doing, how long he been doing it, and just give him a place to shine. You know what I'm saying? So without further ado, I want to give y'all Lawrence, the CEO. What's good, my man?
What's good, man? Thank you for having me, man. It's a pleasure to be here.
For sure, for sure. So look, um, it's one thing. I got so much going on in my mind. We've been rushing, we've been running around all day.
Yeah.
But I wanted to have you here, man. I said I met this brother about a week and a half ago, literally, and it was really like a spur of the moment type of thing, right? So, make a long story short, my daughter is on her last year of school in college, and she needed to get back to school. You know what I'm saying? She was like, Dad, I need to get my car fixed, and I need all this work done and all this and all that. So I'm like, oh, damn, another bill, right?
Yeah, car insurance you gotta take
You
care
know what I'm saying? So
of.
I said, okay, let me go to the dealership, see how much it's gonna cost me to get this done. And when I got the invoice, man, it blew my mind on just getting her brakes done, how much it costs, right? So she said, well, I got a friend that graduated, from my school that work on cars, and the first thing I think about is, okay, he must have went to school for it, or he must took it as a trade, or whatever the case may be. But the first thing that also hit my mind is that I can take it to the shop, but if they charging the same thing at a shop that he charging, I'd rather give it to him. You know what I'm saying? So lo and behold, I met this dude and he charged me way less than what the damn shop charged. So he got the business. So that's why he here. And I just seen his drive, you know what I mean, before even knowing him, his energy, his focus. I was like, man, I got to get this dude on the show. So I want to hear his story. I want to share with y'all the story about who he is, where he come from, what he's doing, and inspire the people, man. So before we get started, man, we gonna toast to the pie in the sky. That's what we do. We accustomed to doing that. We got this V on, never
Most
had it.
definitely. Nah, I never had it. I've never even seen that bottle before, so I'm definitely ready to try
Okay,
it.
cool. So yeah, so it's definitely one of the top liqueurs, man, from Sovereign Brands. And I'm gonna pour a little bit for you right there, man, just to wet the whistle. All right. And what we do, man, like I said, we toast to the pie in the sky. The P standing for positive, I standing for informative, and the E standing for euphoric conversation. You know what I'm saying? So we genuine, we authentic, we transparent. So toast to that, man.
Man, that's dope.
Yeah, yeah.
I like that. It's very
Look,
smooth.
yeah, for sure. A little water to cleanse the palate. So what we gonna do, man? Like I said, we gonna get right into it. We don't script over here. I like things to be real raw, onion. You know what I'm saying, and real authentic. So first off, just tell the people, man, a little bit about you. You know what I mean? Your background, your upbringing, whatever you feel comfortable sharing, so the people get to know who Lawrence, the CEO, is.
First, I do want to say, once again, thank you for having me on this show. It kind of take a lot out of me, or kind of take the right people to be able to get me to sit in the same seat with them and just share my part of the story. It's a great feeling talking about, but I just don't. We like talk about it with everybody, but the fact that we just met last week and you was already telling me that you have a podcast, you like to bring me up on there. I had different people tell me that before. I always say let me know, but she literally let me know like a week later. Like
Yeah,
once you let me know, I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna work today.
for sure.
So I'm just dedicate my whole day to the podcast. Thank you for having me here.
Appreciate it,
But
man.
yeah, my name is Lawrence Amadeli. I'm 22 years old. I started my business when I was 17 years old. But I've been kind of already had the entrepreneur mindset at a young age. My dad is an entrepreneur too.
Mm-hmm.
He has his own mechanic shop. Been doing that before I was even born.
Mm.
So I always remember the times where I'm in middle school and my dad he used to go to Nigeria like 2 times a year.
Mm.
So when he goes to Nigeria, of course, I'm his son. I'm his first son. So, in my dad mindset, he didn't really care about what age I was or how I can handle it. He knows that I'm gonna handle it because I'm his son.
Right.
So, he'll go to Nigeria throughout that summer. I'm out of school and I have to be at the shop, running the shop, managing the money, paying his workers, making sure everything's flowing accordingly, taking care of bills. And mind you, I'm only 12, 13 years old. So
Yeah.
I'm just kind of like just going on with the flow, just handling it like my dad because
Yeah.
I've been watching him for so long.
Hmm.
Growing up, I didn't really get to go outside as much. On Saturdays, I'm always at the shop. Every summer, I'm at the shop. It was like no off days for me. If I do miss the shop, I kind of had to hear my dad mouth behind it. You know,
Yeah.
growing up, I didn't really understand the value of what he was trying to teach me, but like now I do, and I'm still understanding more and more every single day. But you know,
Yeah.
being young when you 10, 11, 12, 13 years old, you just want to go outside, have
You want to
fun.
play?
You
Yeah.
ain't really worry about nothing too much. But you know, I had to be a man before I became a man with the responsibilities I had to handle, and
Yeah.
I always made sure I had to do it right because if it was done wrong, I had to hear my dad mouth, and
For sure.
you know his words hurt more than just whoopings or anything.
Hmm.
It was more of so like you know you're not supposed to be doing that. You my son. I'm supposed to be proud of you. You're supposed to do everything how you're supposed to do it. But you know, like I said, I didn't really understand back then, you know, the value of it. But now I really, really do. You know, I do thank my dad every single day for letting me even be here, just being in the seat with you. You know, all because of my dad, because the type of mindset that he instilled in me, and just the type of business mindset that I have, or just being a man at a very young age. And I know even going out anywhere he's going, I'm following him. Like if he about to go meet with his friends, soccer events, any gathering, I'm always right there with him. So you know, it was just kind of different. It helped my mindset, and it helped me mature at a very young age. Yeah, I started my business when I was 17. I was a junior in high school. It was around COVID. I had a 2002 crisis of brain. Um, so I was like, man, let me go ahead and just start a car wash because every time I wash the car, you know, it always looks up clean. When I take it out to different places, I get compliments like, how old is your car? And back then with the car, I was like, what, 15, 16 years old.
Hmm.
So, you know, I always get compliments. I went home that same day, July 14th, 2020. I was looking at my ceiling. It's like 9:15. I remember exactly 9:15. I said, I'm gonna start a car wash.
Hmm.
And 3 minutes later, I created an Instagram. The Instagram was called L Dawes Car Wash at that time. And the rest is history.
Wow.
Yep.
And man, you said a mouthful, man. You know, I'm sitting here trying to take it all in, and I'm just like amazed at everything that you're saying because, again, you know, having a father, you know, a present father that,
Yep.
of course, people look at that and they say, man, you know, man, my dad was hard on me, man. He didn't let me do nothing. He let me kick it with my boys and let me go outside. But man, he was giving you value that you didn't even know you
Yeah,
needed.
I didn't know at all. I didn't know. Growing up, I'll be honest, I probably cussed him out a few times. Like, man, what you doing? I want to be outside. I want to be
Yeah.
doing this. I want to. It's summertime. I'm supposed to be out here doing crazy, stupid, fun stuff with my
Stuff
friends.
that
But
kids do. Yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
but you know, I'm just always at the shop.
Yeah.
Like sun up to sun down, I'm at the shop.
Yeah. So if I'm not mistaken, because I want to make sure, Lawrence, you said Omadeli.
Yep,
So you from
Nigeria.
Nigeria?
Yep.
Wow, man. Well, it's crazy that we watch Nollywood movies like regular U.S. movies, and I'm
Yeah.
hooked on them, bro. I got like my favorite artists and favorite actor and actresses, just like Denzel, Will Smith, all that is for us.
hmm
So tell me, and you grew up, born and raised in Nigeria?
Yeah, I was born and raised in Nigeria. I came to the U.S. when I was around 4 years old.
Okay, cool,
So I grew up in the United States, but I was born in Nigeria though.
cool. Born and bred. That's what I'm talking about. Authentic, you know.
Yep.
So you elaborate a little bit about your childhood and about, you know, pops, you know, being in your ear and having that, instilling those values of entrepreneurship in you early. And then you talked about again starting that business, having that entrepreneurship mindset early on. What was, I want to say, the upbringing like, to where did it force you to entrepreneurship or was it still a choice? You know what I mean? Because some people like,
hmm
you got to do this, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Or you got to go to school, you know what I mean? You got to get a good education. So for you, you know, you have siblings, right?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. So with you and the siblings, you know, how was it different for you versus the siblings, you know what I mean, as it relates to going into entrepreneurship?
Okay. Yeah, I'm the second oldest, so I am the middle child. I have four other siblings, but I wouldn't say it was a forced. It was a forced thing. Me being an entrepreneur, me starting out my own business. I wanted to do it because I also wanted better for myself. You know,
Yeah.
although my dad instilled the values in me, of course, like you know, going to school. I went to school on the south side. I went to Mar High School, so You know, being in high school, you kind of get caught up with the wrong crowd.
Hmm.
Just you just mingle around with the wrong crowd.
Yeah.
So you know, I was one of them kids who stayed in trouble a lot.
Mm.
You know, it was during COVID too, so being in trouble was actually easier now because
Yeah.
school was out, so you get to just be in the streets with your friends, doing little stupid stuff. But you know, another reason I kind of started my business was to stay away from that.
Exactly.
You know, just kind of just because I knew the type of route that I wanted. I knew that the way I was going back then, it was going to be either two things, dead or jail, and
Hmm.
I knew that's not what I wanted. And another motivation that I had was my little brother.
Hmm.
So my little brother, he'll pay attention to everything that I was doing. I didn't realize that until one day he came to me, he said, "I want to be just like you," and I said, "No, I want you to be better than me."
Wow.
Yeah, so that's when I kind of knew I had to change my image up for my little brother just so he could see the good that I'm doing and not necessarily the bad, because I wouldn't want him to grow up how I grew up or just be doing things that I used to do. So one of my motivations was my little brother. I'll say my little brother and then myself and then my dad. Even when I first started my business, I didn't really hear too much from my dad, but I knew he was proud though. He wasn't gonna say it because he's just an observant person. So he'll want to see how would I do it and the things that I take. So when I started out, it was just a regular car wash. I was washing cars, $25 in and out.
Hmm.
But I loved it so much because now I feel like I'm making my own money
Yeah.
legit. Like I'm working with my with my bare hands trying to get this. So I don't care if I leave out the house. I don't care if I come back in the house with only $20. I made something that day.
For sure.
So it was just that type of different mindset that it gave me to where like it all adds up. So this day I can make $20. This day I can make $50. But at the end of the week, I'm 17 years old. At the end of the week, I done racked up like $500, and just
Mm.
that's just me working with my bare hands. So when I made my first 1,000, when I made my first $1,000, that's when I was like, oh, so I can make more. You know,
Yeah.
making that first thousand just it made me feel so good because I did this with my bare hands. I didn't ask for no help. I
Hmm.
didn't ask my dad for no money, anything
Hmm.
with my business. I made sure I bought all my supplies, pressure washers, soap, chemicals, all that. I did it by myself. So, you know, making that first 1,000 was just like it really boosted me. It really pushed
Yeah.
me up there. I started thinking a little different. Started learning about different ways to manage my money, and it just went on from there.
Man, you over here got me motivated, bro. I'm over here. I'm damn near like, it's not a. I started off like anxious.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like I'm never nervous. I was more anxious because I could feel your energy. Like, man, this young dude really doing something. He going somewhere. And I felt that when I first met you. You know what I'm saying? That's why I was like, I need to have him on. Like, it didn't like I talked to aspiring entrepreneurs, young and old, people that are established and things
yeah,
of that nature. But I was like, I need to put, young dude on to let people see because without even knowing your story, I knew your story.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? It's like that's the law of attraction and that energy. So to know that you had it in you and on you, you know what I'm saying? Pops was pouring it in you,
yeah,
and you again had examples, you know what I mean? But at the same time, wanted to be an example. And that's big, man. So I felt that, having, siblings and people that look up to you, being a role model, and you could have been doing all the stuff that you was doing because you still young. You said
yeah.
you 20,
22.
22.
Yeah,
So again, to be able to learn at an early age, I don't need to do this. I don't need to take them penitentiary chances. I need to get my own money. I can ask mom and dad, but I just need to focus on getting it myself so I
yeah.
can look out for them. So that leads me to this question. So when you talk about entrepreneurship, starting your business, like you said, at 17, and knowing that you were a classmate and a graduate of Alabama State, where my daughter attends. So um, before college, what was your mindset? So it's like,
Before college even came into the door, I was like, my business.
yeah.
You know, taking my business up there. One thing that kind of sets me apart from anybody else at that time that was washing cars or detailing cars was, um, I generally build friendship with the people that come get their car washed. So, you know, back then, sometimes when I was just washing their car, it wasn't because I was just one of the best to do it. Some of my clients come back because the conversation that I'll have with them,
Hmm.
and you know, I'm washing different type of cars, so I'm looking at how different type of people is living. You know,
Hmm.
they driving Benzes, all these good foreign cars, and I'm just like, okay, so my mindset had to be different too. I'm looking at their age, I'm looking at my age, and I'm like, I could do it too. So if they
Exactly.
could do it, I could do it too. So it was kind of like a sense of motivation to me to being able to just wash cars. But before college, I was just stuck on my business. I really wasn't really thinking about school. I'm the first generation college student too, so I wasn't really thinking about school until my uncle came. My uncle Mark Stevens, he came. He was like, young blood, I know you about to graduate. What you thinking about? I was thinking about Kennesaw at that time, but I knew that I was only saying Kennesaw just to say I'm going to college. I really didn't want to do that for real.
Right.
And he was like, nah, man, you're gonna go to Alabama State. And he graduated from Alabama State.
Gotcha.
So I was like, shoot, I know my uncle's not gonna leave me not gonna leave me in the wrong. So I just went along and did it. And he talked to my dad about it. I applied. I got accepted like 2 days after that. Got a couple scholarships, and the rest was history. But I'm glad that I took the college route because it showed me a lot of different things. Although I always say, when I first started, I always say, man, I miss my business. I miss because Alabama State's in a whole nother state.
Yeah.
So when I go over there, I'm not able to manage my business. So the clientele is decreasing. But I'm glad that I didn't really let that kind of bother me because I knew that eventually I was gonna get bigger. But going to college, I'm glad that I did because I learned a lot of different traits about myself. Being by yourself, not really having no parents right there. I wasn't staying with my parents or anything. I'm by myself in the dorm room. I got to handle this myself. And I was the type of the kid I didn't want to call my parents and say I need this, I need that. So I was trying to figure it out on my own. I even started my car wash out there.
That's what I was gonna ask you. I was gonna
Yeah.
say, did you go down there and start making it happen?
Yeah, so I even started my car wash out there because I didn't want to. And this has always been me since a young age. Because I had to watch my parents kind of struggle and just for everything that we got right now, and just I seen them from the bottom to now being the top, and at a young, I didn't even want to ask for anything as much as like $5, $10 for like a field trip or something.
Yeah.
So if I have a field trip back in elementary school, I try to figure it out myself. I'll go sell a couple snacks, or I'll bring something to school that I could sell just so I could pay for that field trip because I didn't want to ask my parents for it. I just
Yeah.
felt like maybe them giving me that $10, now they $10 short from what they
Wow.
could be doing. So yeah, I carried that mindset for 22 years. That was my whole mindset throughout college, even like tuition and everything. I had to kind of figure it out on my own before I got back to my parents. I only go back to my parents if I knew that I done tried everything that I thought could work and it didn't work. Now it's time for me to rely on my parents.
Man, that's what's up, man. I love the transparency, y'all. I live for that. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like to be able to know that you are a young dude, so it's just you and your little brother.
No, it's me, my little brother, and I have 3 sisters. I got 2 little sisters, and I have my older sister.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So, like you said, mom and dad already got a lot going on, got things that they trying to do, trying to accomplish for y'all, but you are saying, look, I don't want to put no more burden on them. I'm gonna
Yeah.
figure it out. So that's commendable. You know what I mean? So it's just so much I can ask as it relates to you, growing up, upbringing, being an entrepreneur, having that epiphany. So what did you major in, in school?
I majored in computer and information systems.
Okay.
So I know when I first started school, my major was business. It's a crazy story. My major was business, but when I started, after I heard that you would have to wear suits and dress up every Wednesday
Hmm.
or every time you go to a specific class, I didn't want to do that
Oh,
because
okay.
I didn't want to dress up. I didn't like put on no suit. Didn't like put on no dress shoes, no suit and tie, none of that. So I said, okay, don't want to do business. I'm just changing to IT. So I was like, I'm gonna do computer information systems, and like, and it's so fun. And computer information system is in the same building as the business building,
Got
so
you.
you still have to dress up. So
Still.
it was
No
no
getting
kind
away
of
from it.
escaping it. So, but I stayed with computer information system just because I could get the IT aspect of IT, and I could also get the business aspect of it too. So I kind of felt like that's what's best for me because I'm a businessman, and kind of get the IT experience is also good too. So
Yeah.
I stuck with computer information systems. Just graduated in May, and I'm glad that I stuck with it. I didn't really think about nothing else because doing the CIS, I was able to land a corporate job also.
Got
Yeah.
you. Yeah, man. Look, I hope y'all paying attention to that, man. It's again, a lot of people, of course, kids, you want your kids as a parent, to go to school. We were taught, go to school, get a good education, get a good
Yeah.
job. But I learned early on the definition of a good job is just over broke or juggling over bills. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I knew early on that can't nobody pay you better than you can pay you. So entrepreneurship has always been on me since a young dude. But then as soon as I turned an adult, I wasn't going to work for nobody. So again, like you said, to be able to transition, to pivot, to do something that you really didn't want to do, but you said, I'm gonna do it because I don't want to put on those certain clothes,
Yeah,
right? But it shaped you and got you to where you are today as a businessman to
sure
be able
did.
to, now run your businesses effectively. Now be
Yeah.
able to put other people in position to say, hey, if I can do it, you can do it, right? So graduated just in May. Damn, that's not even a couple months ago.
Yeah.
So since graduation, what have you been doing? What has been the focus, and what's been your daily routine?
Okay, since I graduated, during the summertime, I always have to. I'm grinding, but I always have to grind 10 times harder because the months that I was in school, I was losing clientele, and when I come back for the summer, and I have to grind harder to be able to get myself back to where I was or even better. So this whole summer I just been learning different traits about myself, handling my business. I'm more at the shop now, so I'm handling the shop. And I started to do like the mobile service, like to where I go to people's houses, fix on their cars. But I started to see that I kind of like the shop environment more,
Yeah.
just because I'm comfortable. And if anything was to like hit the fan, I got tools right here. I don't have to go all the way to the parts store to grab tools. I'm comfortable at the shop.
Right.
But just getting my mindset and my mental together for what's about to happen. Literally on Monday, I start my full time job on Monday on working corporate. So
Okay.
yeah, this whole summer was just been like a get back to myself. I just been getting my mindset and my mental right for the new changes about to come because as of Monday, my whole life is about to change.
Got you.
Yeah.
So in the corporate spectrum, it's strictly like you said, what you graduated, what you got your degree
Yeah.
in, and it's that now you suited and booted, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So the car thing, and building that is gonna be pretty much still
Oh,
going.
it's definitely gonna still be going. People always ask me how would I be able to manage my business and manage working a full-time corporate job. I don't have the answer right now, but I know I'm gonna handle it though.
Figure
It's
it
gonna
out.
get done, and
Exactly.
this is a business that I started with my bare hands. So this is not something that I'm gonna want to stop or try to just give it away just because I'm doing something else. Like no, this is like
Your baby.
this is once you built this with your bare hands, like this can't go nowhere because I built this like brick
Yeah.
by brick. Literally, I
Yeah.
literally built this. I watched this go up, go down, go in the middle, go down. I done built it back up from ground, and it just, it's and just me. I haven't thought about it in a minute, but just think about it right now. Like I literally built this with my bare hands. Like
Yeah.
so, of course, it's not going nowhere.
Yeah, man. Look, let's pause on that. That's a
Yeah, was there?
that's a congratulatory moment, man. Because again, how I always say is like, you figure it out. You know what I mean? Like the odds can be
Definitely.
stacked against you. People can work a job. You can work a 9 to 5. You can be committed to, something that pays your bills, right? But then if you got a passion and a heart desire to build something great, ain't nothing or no one gonna stop you from doing that.
Can't.
So, just to hear you say that, man, like I said, it's getting me even more excited because I'm hearing myself talking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, damn, I ain't the only one that get it. You know what I
You
mean?
gotta be
And
passionate about it though. That
definitely,
passion go a long way. Like passion will move mountains for passion and faith. If you have those two things, man, you can move a mountain.
for sure.
Literally.
For sure. So yeah, man, again, there's so much to talk about. I don't want to miss nothing. So we talked about who you are, your upbringing, what got you started on the entrepreneurship, school, corporate, transitioning, keeping your business and things of that nature. So now, I guess my question is the corporate aspect. What do you attempt or what do you intend to achieve on the corporate level? Is it one of those things that you want to be, CEO of a particular company, start your own company, or is it one of those things to where you're gonna ride this out, stack chips, do what you got to do, and then build your brand in other areas?
I say for me, it's to learn the skills. So learn the corporate skills so I can be able to run my business as a corporate firm. So being able to put the right people in place, just be able to just manage it like it's a corporate firm. And I know, we're working a corporate job, I can learn those different type of skills. Then I'll be able to network with a lot of different people who will probably later on pour into me just because I've been good to them or just because they've been a mentor to me.
Yeah.
So yeah, just learning the skills for sure.
Okay.
And just coming back, putting it into my business. So I always think about my business as one of those buildings behind us, like a big building. You could just walk in. It's 60 floors in here. That's my mindset of it. Cause working on cars can go a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
You could do the wrap. You could do the tint. You could fix on them, speakers, radio, car
Limitless.
wash,
Yeah.
everything. Like, boy, I want to be able to incorporate all that
One
into
stop shop.
one stop shop,
Yeah.
literally. A one
For
stop
sure.
shop. That's exactly what I want.
Okay.
A one stop shop.
And you'll have it, man. You already got it. You know what I'm saying? It's literally a thought becoming a thing. You
Yeah.
already got it. Now it's just about putting the pieces together to make it all come together.
Most definitely.
So man, I'm proud of you. Like I've been knowing you my whole life. You know what I'm saying? Like you connected to me now in a way where through my daughter, obviously, but now I feel responsible. You know what I'm saying? To make sure that whatever I can do, to assist, to mentor, to just be that sounding wall. You know what I mean? To make sure that every accomplishment you have, I want to be there. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to be able to say, man, I sat down with this brother and look at him now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
But yeah, we most definitely, we locked in now together, most definitely.
for sure.
For sure. And another way of life is, when people think about wealth, people think about, how many cars you have, how much money you have, how many houses you able to buy, things of that nature. But, wealth is the power of your thinking.
Yeah.
The magic of thinking. When you think big, you get big.
Mm-hmm.
So when you think that you're gonna do something so big, you're actually gonna do it. So when I look at wealth, I don't think about it as how many clothes I can buy, how many houses I can buy, or how many cars I got. I think about my mindset. Just being able to think big, think outside the box, because that's what's gonna set you apart from a lot of people. It's not about the certifications that you have or how long you've been in school. Somebody could be in school 10 years, but somebody who's been in school only 5 years can have the higher position just because their way of thinking.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
so it's the magic of thinking, most definitely.
And you already know as well as I know, we got a lot of multimillionaire billionaires that are no college degree, dropped out of high school.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So it adds value to you to be able to do those things and grow from it. But like you said, it's a mindset.
Mindset.
Everything is a mindset. Excuse me. Being broke is a mindset.
It is.
You know what I mean? And people are so broke nowadays that they can't afford to pay attention. You know what I mean? And that's deep.
That's true.
You know what I'm
That
saying?
is deep.
So
No,
it's like, if
deep.
I'm trying to put you on game, trying to tell you something, trying to show you something, and you trying to still figure it out on your own, that's crazy to me. But yeah, man, so we rolling. What I would say now, going into the corporate, aspect of it, learning everything and applying, what you've learned and what you studied for and things of that nature. What's next? You know what I mean? So like outside of school, outside of your business, like what do you see in the next, short term, short term goal, long term goals? What do you want to accomplish in the next 3 to 5 years? And then over a span of maybe 10 years, if you look that far out, you know what I'm saying? Which I know
think
you
about
do.
that every day.
For sure.
Yeah, every
So
day.
expound on that a little bit.
First thing I want to say is, I'm gonna start my own mentor group.
Okay.
But when I say mentor group, I don't necessarily like going in and just speaking to them, but going in and just teaching them about the value of working on cars. Because when I was in high school, I had a mechanic class, and I've been around cars all my life, so I'm already advanced in my class. I already know the different aspects to cars. I already know how to fix on them and everything. But the way that things are looking right now for our younger generation, I just want to be that spark in them because that's all it took for me, just that one person put a spark in me.
Exactly.
So I want to be that spark to be able to show them and tell them, like, it's a different way of handling things. When you're working with your hands, you forever going to be good. It could be engineering, mechanic, plumbing, anything. But when you have that job and you have your own business where you're working with your hands, you're going to love it. So, just inspire the youth. And that's always been my goal. I've always been doing that, but now I want it to be bigger.
Yeah.
Like I want it to be on a different type of level to where I'm actually getting recognized for it, and to where now we have donors, we have people trying to donate back to the group, or I have people, and that's another thing that I'm trying to do with the corporate level too, because I know that I'm gonna be able to network with a lot of different people. So when I tell them about my dreams, my plans, my aspirations, they'll be able to pour back into, oh, you got this going on. Oh, I know that this date's coming on. You having this event with a group of students that you're mentoring.
Yeah.
Here's $5,000. Here's $10,000. You know, that's my next 3 to 5 year goal. That's exactly what I want to do. I want to start that, and the perfect place to do it is my old high school. And
Gotcha.
I've already been talking to the principal about it, and we gonna get it going. But that's definitely my goal, because I want, if I could be the person to make a change, why not? You
Yeah, for
know,
sure.
it took one person to see the value in me. That one person that's seen that value in me was my mentor, and he was my 10th grade teacher, and he's still my mentor today.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Yeah, that's big. And I'm glad you said that, man, because when you start talking about mentorship and, at your age, what I mean? Most 22-year-olds, man, that's on their way are like, man, forget everybody else. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
I'm on what I'm on. They got to figure it out like I figured it out,
yeah,
right? But to have that heart to be able to want to pull and give back early on is amazing. Because I've seen a couple of your videos, you know what I mean, where you were doing, fixing on some cars and everything, and talking about what the dealership charge versus what I charge, so on and so forth. So I'm gonna go back to that right now, like the confidence that you had to be able to, because again, I figure stuff out, right? If I'm a they got YouTube University, all that,
yeah,
but I'm a
yeah,
I'm a
yeah.
more hands-on person. Like I'm gonna figure it out myself. You know what I mean? Just like this podcast, it's self-propelled. I don't have a big crew, big production company, none of that. This is all a thought becoming a thing, right? So when I looked at you on live, fixing on, I think the Porsche truck, or it was something like that in the
Yeah,
AMG, and I'm like, man, this dude got some. I'm gonna just say it, he got some balls. You know what I'm saying? Like he fixing on stuff that you shouldn't be touching. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Because that's what we was told. You know what I mean? Like you take that to the
yeah.
dealership, bro. Like
Most
you
deaf.
can fix a Chevy Caprice. You know what I'm saying? Or a little Toyota or something.
Yeah,
But anything big name foreign, you mess that up. That show you know what. So
yeah.
what was it for you? And when was the first time you ever worked on something foreign, something that you was like kind of intimidated?
My mindset is no risk, no reward.
That's right.
So if I don't take that risk, how would I know if it's a good or a bad risk? But I have the experience. That's what a lot of, well, they're not gonna understand because they're not really into the cars. But a lot of people don't understand, like, some of these things are the same exact as it would be on a Toyota or a Honda. It's the same thing, just different steps that you have to take to solve that problem. But it's the same thing though. But taking that risk, I remember when I did the Lamborghini, taking that risk, I thought like it was gonna be different myself. And mind you, the client, he reached out to me. He was like, "Look, I got my Lambo, man. I want you to change the brakes on it." And he's already having trust in me because of what he's seen on my page or
Exactly.
the type of work that I did. No, I've never worked on a Lamborghini before.
Wow.
Like
Wow.
I've never worked on a Lamborghini before. But he was like, "Yeah, man, I want you to research it, how to do it." And I said, when he asked me, "Do you know how to work on Lamborghini?" I said, "Yes." And knowing that I don't know how to, but
Yeah.
I'm up for a challenge, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna figure it out.
For sure.
So, when I told him, yeah, he was like, "Okay, cool. So I'd like to book you for next week. I want you to come out to my house, fix my Lamborghini for me." I said, "Okay, cool." I felt like I was qualified, but
Yeah.
when I
That's key.
came,
You gotta feel.
yeah,
You gotta know and feel it.
yeah, it was definitely felt like I was qualified. So when I came, I seen, and I do one side first before I record content on the other side.
Got you.
So when I'm doing when I took the tire off and I seen it, I said, "Oh, this ain't nothing."
Yeah.
Exactly what I told
Yeah.
myself. Man, this just like a Camaro or
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
Scat Pack or a Hellcat. Like,
Yeah.
this is nothing. So, that's how I was able to do it. I took that risk. And most of the time, it's really about the name brand of it. Not necessarily, like, even with the oil changes, all that is the same. I know a Lamborghini oil change, you have 7 different places you have to drain the oil from. With a Lamborghini Huracan, that's what he had. So, it's take a risk. I,
Yeah.
I took a risk with my business. Like, I wanted to quit so many times when I first started. Like, it'll get cold. I was just washing cars. It'll get cold and my hands all frozen. And
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
man, do I want to keep doing this for $25? But
Yeah.
I'm glad that I stuck to it. And one thing that my dad always taught me, or like even just told me, he told me straight up, I don't want you only focusing on just the car wash. I started the car wash business. He said, I don't want you just doing that. You got the mechanic right here. Because before I was even detailing cars and everything, I was already fixing them. Was doing the brakes, oil changes, engines, spark plugs. I was doing that at a young age.
Yeah.
So when I started out my business, my dad seen that, I really wasn't into the doing the cars anymore. I was more so into the detailing cars, doing the car wash. So he put me to the side. What you're doing is very good, but don't only be focused on the car wash. You got the mechanic right here too. Still back then, I didn't see where he was coming from with it, but now I do, because now with the car wash, I done gave that to my little brother. So my little brother is the one that's washing and detailing the cars now,
Passing them
and
down.
passing it down. You feel me? So and at first he didn't want to do it, but I kind of just had to instill in him, like, the type of risk that the type of value of what you're about to get into right now. Being in high school, you could be able to say that, man, some of your high school friends, they still kind of, not that it's a bad thing, but they still expecting money from their parents, or
Exactly.
mom, can you send me this $20? But you don't have to do that.
Exactly.
You got a whole business right here to where you can be able to provide for yourself. When he was doing the back to school, my mom's not gonna buy you the Jordan that you want.
Yeah.
They don't they don't see the value in that.
Yeah.
So he's seen it now. He made all his money throughout the summer, and for back to school, he was able to buy whatever he wanted, any type
Exactly.
of clothes that he wanted to buy, shoes that he wanted, and he still had something left over to where, like, I told him, now that you don't buy everything for school, save the rest of that.
Yeah.
Like last week, he came to the shop, and he didn't think that he was gonna make nothing, but I'm at the shop every day, and I still have clients who be needing car done. So he came out to the shop, and this man is only 15 years old. He went back home. He not coming to the shop, not even thinking he thought he was gonna come sit here.
Yeah.
Not even thinking he was gonna make anything. Went back home with like $225.
And that's
That
big
just
deal.
in one day.
Yeah, that's a big deal. 15.
Yeah, in
For
just
sure.
in one day. So I told him, like, man, just, you making that much, man, just keep that, cause when I was your age making that much, I wish somebody. Well, my dad told me to keep it, but I didn't want to.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
but man, keep that money, man. Just save it. When you save that money, it's gonna save you later on.
All day long.
Yeah.
Man, he dropping gems, man. He dropping real gems, and I'm glad that y'all able to witness this in real time. Again, there's so much, man, that I can ask and talk about. I don't want to keep you long. So knowing now, again, that's also something I want to pinpoint too, man. You're talking about passing down, you know, generational wealth, basically. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't pass down a job. You know what I mean? And so for this brother to come in and have a mindset at an early age, and you got a lot of greedy people, young and old, that just do everything, get it all for themselves, and don't want to share it. Don't want to put people on. Don't they want to gatekeep? So to have a big brother that is trying to lead by example, and then actually putting in the work and the action behind it. So again, another thing to commend you on, man. So last but not least, I wanna ask, you talked about going into mentorship, expanding your business, expanding your knowledge, in the corporate sector, and applying that to business. What what can you say to people your age and under, and even people your age and older, as it relates to, you know, their goals and dreams, things they've been putting off, things they've been procrastinating about, like what can you offer from experience to kind of encourage somebody that's watching and listening that, if I can do it, you can do it.
So I'll start out by saying, consistency plus inconsistency equals average, and you never want to be average. Don't be average. And another thing is, treat life like a stop sign. Once you treat life like a stop sign, you don't have you have no other choice but to be successful and live longer. Because when we're at a stop sign, you have a choice to go left, right. You have the choice to go straight, or you even have a choice to just run it.
Yeah.
But once you treat life like that, and just even your circle like that, you don't have no other choice but to be successful. Like when you in a friend group and you start to just see things aren't for you, stop.
Yeah.
Take a different pivot.
Yeah, for
Take
sure.
a different route.
For sure.
And go your own route. But yeah, treat life like a stop sign. You don't have no other choice but to be successful. And when you want to be successful as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful.
Yeah.
Think about that every single day.
Yeah. That was one of my favorite
Yeah.
videos, man. I think that was E.T.
Yeah,
E.T.
every
that
time,
said
yeah.
that, you know what I mean? And that's throwback, you know what I mean? To be able to hear him say, you'll be successful when you want it as bad as you want to breathe. The
yeah.
guy that had his head under the water,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that's deep, hearing that from you. And I know you got some more to add to that, but, I'll pinpoint on that too, as far as like, when you know that you got a burning desire to want to be successful and want to get to the next level in life, you know, and you look at it from a standpoint that I'm not doing it for me. I'm doing it for people that's attached to me. I'm doing it for people that's surrounded around me that don't got it, the answer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Because a lot of people are for real all about themselves today,
yeah,
bro.
they
So,
are.
you know, that's good to have that value in you before you even 30, you know what I'm saying? Let alone 22, 25, you know, it's still people learning that in their 40s,
Hmm.
you know, how to be humble, how to pull back and reach back, you know. So again, another thing to commend you on. So as we wrap up, man, anything, you know, of course, I want you to share with the people, you know, your handles on social media, how they can get in touch with you, because like you said, you do, you know, where not so much now with the, you know, with you starting the job and everything, but if a person does want to reach out to you to get a service or to get, you know, you to come to them or them to come to you, or, you know, because y'all got a family business, so
Yes.
they can still come, you know, tell them about where the shop is, and, you know, all the detail and everything, you know.
No, another thing that I do want to add, is stay humble.
Yeah.
Stay humble, and you don't always have to share everything your accomplishments,
Yeah.
and you don't always have to celebrate your accomplishment with people. You can celebrate in
In
private.
private, yes, sir.
Yeah, so I done been through I done accomplished a whole lot to where like some of my accomplishments I just do it without even trying. So I done accomplished a whole lot. You know, all I do is just give myself a pat on the back.
Yeah,
You know, tell myself like,
because I can do better.
yeah, I can do better. Grind harder.
Yep, exactly.
Grind harder. So, and I always tell people everything I'm doing right now, I was doing this when I was at a young age, but it's just getting bigger. It's gonna continue to get bigger.
Yeah,
Stay humble, stay prayed up,
yeah,
and everything else will follow. Everything else will follow in suit. You know, you wouldn't fail. I don't look at failure as like a bad thing. You know, I look at failure as like a good thing because when I fail, I can learn from it. And you know, if I did it this way and it failed, I'm gonna try to do it another way. If that don't work, I'm gonna still continue to try to figure it out.
yeah,
You can't stop. Like
yeah,
I said, consistency plus inconsistency equals average. And you can't be average.
for sure.
Can't be an average person.
Yep,
But yeah, my social media handle is Lawrence the CEO. My LinkedIn is Lawrence Amadeli. TikTok L Dogs Auto Care, and my business Instagram is L Dogs Auto Care.
for sure. Yeah, and I'm gonna make sure we got them all in the bio in the description, man, so y'all can tap in. So yeah, man, I definitely appreciate you stopping by, man, sharing with us. Like I said, we can do a whole lot more behind the scenes, you know, and just chop it up and, you know, have like that little locker room, you know, talk. But I definitely want to make sure we hit the basis of everything, and I believe we did that. So I want to toast you out. We always toast again to the pie in the sky, man. This time being continued prosperity, independence, and eminence. You know what I'm saying? So I see
Sir,
it all on you, man. So nothing
thank you,
but
man.
success and blessings to you, bro.
Thank you, thank you.
Yes, sir. So with that being said, man, you know, again, another dope show, man. I appreciate Lawrence for sliding through, sharing with us, man, you know, what he's doing and where he's going. And then again, reaching back, man, trying to show love and show people that they can do it, right? So I'm gonna make sure all this stuff is in the bio in the description. You know, for anybody that's out there right now that's an aspiring entrepreneur, you know, a serial entrepreneur, established entrepreneur, creative, visionary, whatever it is, we'd love to have you on the show, man, to share your story, to, you know, to impart, to empower, and to inspire people. You know what I mean? So make sure you follow, like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, man, if you aim at nothing, you bound to hit a guarantee. We out.